Hey everybody, Chef AJ here, and welcome to my kitchen where I'm going to show you one of my favorite quick and easy desserts. I call this air fry apple pie because it's a really quick, easy, delicious apple pie that you can make in your air fryer. So I'm going to be using the GoWise today. You certainly could use an oven, but it's not going to take 20 to 30 minutes to bake an apple pie in the oven. It's going to take more like 50 or 60. So if you have an air fryer, then you'll be able to make this. If not, maybe consider getting one. So we're going to start with apples. What would an apple pie be without apples? An apple that I'm using is the Envy apple. I think they call it that because it really is the most delicious apple, the envy of all the other apples. And I get these at Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Belson's. They pretty much have them everywhere all year round. They're quite delicious. These are the small ones. They also come in the large size. And you can see I have a lot of fruit in my house, lots of fruits and vegetables. Only the fruits are on the counter. And apples and bananas are basically what is in this recipe. I always make sure that I have bananas in various stages of ripening so that when they get super ripe, I can freeze them for banana ice cream or smoothies or to use in a recipe like this. So we're going to start out with 4 cups of finely chopped apples. Some of you that know me know I often have a brace on my hand from a tendon problem, so I love tools that will help, and this was about $20 at Bed Bath & Beyond. You can use it for onions, you can use it for cucumbers. It makes perfect little chunks of whatever you're chopping, jicama. It comes in 2 different sizes, the blades, and I used the small one. And I filled this whole thing up, which was 4 cups of apples. How many apples that is depends on what size the apples are. So you want to fill this whole thing up or measure about 4 cups of apples. If you don't want to use this chopper, you can just grate them by hand. It'll be a little bit mushier, but that's fine. So just whatever you want, but just make sure if you don't use the Envy apple that you're using a very sweet apple, like not a green tart apple, because since I use the fruit, the whole fruit, nothing but the whole fruit, and I'm not using dates in most of my recipes now because people that have food addictions, dates are often a trigger food. They're 1,300 calories a pound, which is more than 6 times as calorically dense as, say, whole apples, which are 200 calories a pound. You want to make sure that your fruit is ripe and sweet if you want to be able to sweeten things without using sugar. So to the 4 cups of apples, I'm adding a 1/2 cup of golden raisins. I just like the golden raisins better because I just think they're a little bit sweeter. I'm just going to mix that in, and then I'm going to add my spices, a teaspoon of apple pie spice and a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla powder. I have the apple pie spice from Penzeys, but I've seen it in just about every market in all across the United States. If you can't find it or don't want to use it, you can just use cinnamon. That would be absolutely fine. And vanilla powder, I always get one without sugar. It's just ground vanilla beans. I don't like to use the alcohol-free because it has glycerin, which is sugar, and the regular alcohol vanilla that has alcohol, not the regular alcohol vanilla, it doesn't have sugar, but it has alcohol. So a little goes a long way, so I'm using a 1/2 teaspoon. Always use as much as you can afford, but this stuff is a little bit pricey. I just get it on Amazon. And then I'm going to add a cup of unsweetened applesauce. And you can get that just about everywhere. And I'm going to just mix it up till all the ingredients are fully incorporated. It already smells delicious. You know, the smaller you cut the apples, the quicker they'll cook. So grating it is also an option, as I said. I just like having a little bit of texture. That's why I did it this way. So now I'm going to put it in this little cute little pan that actually comes with the air fryer. It doesn't come with the Breville, but when you get the smaller ones, this little pan comes with it. So I'm just putting it in there. There we go. Now this will serve anywhere from 2 to 4 people, depending on how much you eat. And usually what I'll do is I'll make it before dinner because it takes about 20 to 30 minutes in the air fryer. And by the time we're done with dinner, it's ready. And then we have a hot apple pie. So I just smush it there. And now I'm going to make the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 ripe bananas. And I always take the largest ones that I can find. And these are super ripe, you can tell, because they've got nice brown spots on them. And I just like to use my mashed potato masher to mash the bananas. Just like that. Yum, yum. And then I'm going to mix in my oats. I've got 1.5 cups of oats. I'm just going to get that nice and incorporated. You can actually make granola like this. In my book, The Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss, I actually have a recipe for granola just using basically bananas and oats. So we just want to get that incorporated. That's going to be our nice topping. That's what the air fryer actually makes things somewhat crunchy, which is what I like. You won't get the same kind of texture in a regular oven. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this topping over the apple pie. My, oh my. And I'm going to use my fingers here because it's going to be a little easier to press it down. Get it covered, the apples. You could use pears in here too if they were ripe and sweet. This would be delicious. And if you want, you could sprinkle a little cinnamon or apple pie spice on the top. I don't have that little thing with the holes, so I guess we'll do it by hand like this. Boom, boom, boom. A little bit more. Apple pie spices like cinnamon and nutmeg and cloves, things like that. There we go. And now we're just going to put it in the air fryer. Look at that. There's a garlic clove in here from another recipe. Just going to stick it in. I'm going to turn it on. 370. And I'm going to do 30 minutes. And then I'm going to show you when it's done how we plate it and how we eat it. Minute on the air fryer. Look at that. Well, I'm going to open this up right now because it's smelling like it's ready, and it is. You can see. Be careful. Use gloves. It's very hot. How do I get that thing up? It's stuck on there. There we go. So I'm going to take it out and put it on a trivet. And if you think hot apple pie is good, there's only one thing better: hot apple pie a la mode. So we're going to make some banana and ice cream using the blank plate on the Champion juicer. You can also use your Yonanas machine, your Vitamix, your food processor. The Champion is really unparalleled for creamy, dreamy ice cream. Make sure your bananas are not only ripe, frozen in advance and with the peel off. So I am going to take a nice scoop of the pie. You know, I said 2 to 4. You might be able to get more out of here. It just depends how much you like to eat. You know, you could eat this for breakfast. It's just fruit and oats, really. Oops. It's okay, my counter is clean. If you do use the grated apples instead of the chopped apples, it'll be a little bit mushier because of the moisture. Oh, that is so good. All right, so now I'm going to put it right under the Champion juicer. Turn it on. Creamy, dreamy, delicious apple pie a la mode with no sugar, no oil, no flour, no gluten, no salt, and no guilt. I hope you'll try this and I hope you'll enjoy it. I know I will. Oh my God. The cold and the hot together is amazing. All right. Don't forget to eat your veggies first.